Welcome to another episode of Mr. Therapist and the Counselor Podcast. We talk about recovery and mental health, and we here to demystify the process of therapy. We are the best and the most entertaining mental health and recovery podcast. Jesse O.
This week on the episode, we talk about mothers, Mom's Day, Mother's Day, all kinds of things about moms. We even going to talk about my mom and your mom. Mothers, grandmothers.
Yo mama, my mama.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
I don't understand what's going on. Please share the show if you find some value. Share it with a friend. Share it on your story, on your Instagram, on your X, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, MySpace, whatever. Just share
your mother.
it. Share it with your mama. Share it with your mama. Here we go.
'Tis the season for your mother. Fa la la la.
Oh, you want to talk about mothers.
That's right. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, right?
Oh, my God. Have you seen White Chicks?
Yo mama's so great. Just kidding. I was going to do that.
Have you seen what?
Have I seen White Chicks?
What's the best Yo Mama joke?
Because I'll miss you. I actually haven't seen White Chicks. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah. Because I've lived it.
Oh, nice.
I see white people. That's like I see dead people. You get it?
Get that,
Yeah.
Wow, the most racist counselor in town.
I'm gonna steal this. There was this comedian. He was talking about that movie, The Sixth Sense. You've seen the movie, The Sixth Sense, right?
No.
Yeah. You know, he's like he's dead. He
they
gets
put,
killed.
Like, aluminum on their heads, foil, right? No.
That's a different movie, dude.
What is that? Oh, that's
so bad with your movies, dude.
Science.
You're so bad. Yeah, that's
dead people.
Yeah. So like the comedian was saying like, we just believe like at the very beginning of that movie, the guy gets killed, right? Like spoiler alert, right? Like the guy gets killed, but the entire movie, like we can't believe like it's a ghost because like the fact that his wife wasn't talking to the husband for like years, right? Like it makes a lot of sense being like married, right? Doesn't it? You didn't even put together that it could be a chance that he's just dead. You just think like, oh yeah, the wife's just like not talking to the husband whatsoever. You're like, I get it. You know, it's been like years since they've had conversation, you know.
Makes sense.
But I stole that from a comedian that I forgot his name. And no, I'm not trying to steal his material because I'm saying right now.
You're funnier than that guy anyway.
Thank you. I thought so. What's going on this week with you? How was the week? How was the entire week? The entire full
week
yeah.
off that we had and we came back to record.
Back at it.
Really good. Really good. Have you ever read The 5 Love Languages?
Oh, shoot. I have not. I have read a lot into the 5 love languages.
What does that mean?
It's like I know what they are.
Okay.
Don't ask me to name them off the top. Don't do that, okay? But like I
can recognize them if I see them.
I've helped facilitators do a group on it, or I've done like family programs where like we would ask what the love languages are and things like that. So like I'm versed in it, not well versed in it, but I know enough of it to like have a conversation with you.
What's your language?
What is my love language? I like being touched. Do I like being touched? I don't know. Maybe it's not that. What's yours?
Okay, copping out of this, dude.
What are the 5 love languages?
Be true, dude.
Go through all 5 love languages now.
This is very strategic of you. Like
you're the therapist. Go through them.
So we got physical touch, receiving gifts, words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service.
My man. All right.
You don't remember any of those, do you?
No, I don't. You went really slow on it too. I appreciate
it. Do you like quality time?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not leaning towards that one. Go through them together.
Words of affirmation.
That might be up there.
Yeah. Like, you're so great, Jesse.
Yeah, man. Like,
your arms are so big. Your tats are like juicy. Out of this world.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's getting up there for me. Okay. Words of affirmation.
Love your gray hair. Yeah. Receiving gifts. No. What about acts of service? Let me massage your feet, master. Or, hey, I'm going to do the dishes for you today.
I think words. What's the last one?
The last one is
you
physical touch. I think you're a physical touch guy.
I feel like words.
Words of affirmation.
I think words of affirmation get me.
Yeah.
So like when I know like I feel appreciated, I think it's fortunately it's like validation, like words, and people like say something like nice about me or kind about me. Like
Okay.
that's like my thing. What about yours?
Well, this is where we'll know if you are like what type of a man you are. What's your wife's love language?
Beats the shit out of me.
Ah, dude.
Yep.
Fail.
That's right. I'm a terrible husband.
I think mine's physical touch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You freaky naughty.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I just like a little nails rubbing on my back.
Oh, just nails.
Or even like on my hair.
Yeah.
You should, really
Yeah.
do that to my hair one day.
What's your safe word?
Pineapple pizza.
So touch, physical touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see that.
No?
You never hug me.
I always hug you.
You always want to pound it out, but you never want to hug me.
That's true. My head is always in the...
You're pointing my crotch area, dude, just for all the viewers that aren't looking.
No,
Why'd you go right down in my...
You remember the show The Office where they're like...
no, tell me more about The Office.
Where they're like recording the meeting, and then Jim
How
goes
often
like...
do you watch The Office? Because listen, I love The Office. You're very well scripted with The Office. I will say that.
Every day.
I love The Office. And you almost every show, like, you bring up The Office, which is completely, I'm okay with that for the most part. But, like,
it doesn't seem like it.
you watch it a lot more than I do.
I love The Office.
You
We
miss
watch
it?
it. We
Yeah.
put it on, like, as background noise.
How would you think about them rebooting it? They've talked about rebooting it. You know that, right?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Leave it.
Just let it be
Just let it
what
be.
it is. Like, yeah. So, okay.
Just let it be. Yeah.
You'd watch it, though, right?
I would.
I would most definitely check it out, but I would try not to hold it to that standard because that'd be almost really
Kevin.
impossible.
You remember the episode Kevin like dropped the chili?
Yeah, I remember
No,
that.
he
episode.
really has like a chili recipe that's like the best chili. Like it's really good.
Sounds good. I told you I'm hungry.
Anyway, you didn't let me finish.
Sorry.
The episode of The Office where they're recording the meeting for Michael. And Jim goes like, Dwight, why are you pulling out your pants? Like,
you mean like on the tape recorder, right?
You just did that right now.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
like, Manny's pointing at my crotch for those that aren't listening, which is not true. I wasn't doing that.
It was true.
But cool, man. I just want to know if you knew your love language and if you kept track of that.
Yeah, I had some good banter, and I have completely forgotten. Damn it,
Did you
dude!
really?
Yeah, man, I had something. Oh, I was.
You're gonna say yo mama joke?
No, I was thinking about one of the episodes we did prior, and we talked about anniversary reactions. And
I didn't know you had a purple flower tattoo.
It's violet, dude.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, I got that a couple years ago. So.
What? Oh, that's so cool, dude. That's great.
Well, let's just say I'm gonna have to get more tattoos, if you know what I'm saying. That's for a later episode. I wanted to say, like, on the anniversary reaction discussion we had here, it made me think of one of the worst groups I ever had done. I think I did a men's trauma group, and it was on the anniversary reaction. And I was still pretty new in the field, and I remember I brought up 9/11 as I did on the episode, being like an anniversary reaction, and all of a sudden, like, this guy jumped on this whole this whole theory that like 9/11 was fake.
Don't start with the conspiracy.
Yeah,
theory.
conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy theory, and the group got super heated, got like super out, like kind of. I wouldn't say. Yeah, in some ways out of control. Like, I was like cutting people off. It was a big men's group, dude. Like, men's trauma group was like 20 plus guys. And after the group, I guess multiple people started getting in fights over that whole conversation. And I remember, like, people were like, man, what happened in the group that was right before that? Because people were really heated. And I was like, I don't know what happened, man, but I'm sure it was probably a decent group that just got out of control.
We triggered things.
Yeah.
It means it's good, right?
Lesson learned.
Oh my god!
That was
Don't bring up 9/11 during group.
That's
Got
right.
it.
So, or at least have the experience to control that group. So this week we are approaching it.
Mother's Day.
Your mother, my mother, mothers around the world. Mother's Day is coming up. So starting the clock, we wanted to talk about moms.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I don't know. First of all, like a shout out to all the mothers out there,
Yeah.
right? All the ladies, all the
What are you? This is like a dating podcast? Or
Hey, Valvitas. Hey, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
To all the
yeah, but a
moms.
shout out to all the moms. And listen, moms are
Moms give life, bro.
moms give life. And listen, there's a lot of different moms out there. There's foster moms, right? There are moms that have lost a child. Moms that can't get pregnant. Moms that are trying to. I see this. I've seen this meme a few different times. It's celebrating the women that have worked towards motherhood and stepmoms, all the moms out there. A lot of love to be a mom. So I just
That's true. I'm glad you included moms who lost babies, right?
So there's moms that can't have a kid. Think about them. Like when this year comes around, all kinds of emotions and feelings can be brought up. I'm sure
it could be a anniversary reaction.
Most definitely, yeah. Like somebody who's been trying really hard to conceive and have a child and whatever. Maybe they've lost a child, that they're unable or incapable to do it. So this could be a very hard time. So we celebrate all the women out there that that are there's all kinds of moms out there. Celebrate somebody who's got two moms, two moms, same sex marriage, all that stuff. I said that weird, right? Same sex marriage.
Yeah.
Lesbian, celebrate lesbian mothers, man. Sell them all, man. I love all the mamas.
You just sell them all.
I didn't sell. I meant celebrate all the mothers. I'm shouting like there's my mom's right over there, but she's not. But.
Absolutely. How do you celebrate Mother's Day? What's your routine? Who do you honor on Mother's Day? Who are the people that you go to and say, hey, make sure to?
I just said all the moms, dude. What are you talking about? I just celebrate all the moms
before
directly.
Before podcast
I got my mom, my legit mom. I got the mother to my child, my wife. I got her mom, stepmother. I don't know. That's kind of I don't know if I like that word so much, but secondary mom, I guess. The mother of my wife.
You have a stepmom?
No, her mom.
Oh, gotcha.
That'd be my stepmother, right?
No, would it?
What would it be?
Mother-in-law.
You see Big Dave right now? Me and Big Dave had a rough night last night. We drank a lot of sparkling water. Big Dave's hitting it really hard right now. It looks like he's puking it up, man. Too much carbonation, right? No, I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe we've done 3 podcasts in a row, and it's really hot in this room right now.
My stepmom.
I don't have a stepmom. I'm sorry. My mother. Anyways. My mother-in-law, I meant, and then I also my sister. She's a mom. So,
oh, nice.
What moms do you celebrate?
I celebrate my mother. Mm-hmm. I celebrate her mother, which art thou in heaven. I celebrate.
Oh yeah. I don't have those anymore. Either my grandmas have both passed away.
Yeah. My wife, obviously, and my mother-in-law. Yeah, don't have a stepmother either.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But do you have a mother-in-law? You have a mother-in-law.
I do, yeah. Okay. As we were preparing for this episode, I hit up one of our good friends who we used to work with
in San Clemente.
Where
we have our roots.
Happens.
I know, man. It's all coming together.
Dr. Emily Guarnotta. What?
Why'd you say it like that?
Just because I don't know, that's how.
What's up, Emily? How's it been? I haven't seen you in a long time, but you're doing great things out there. We'd love to have you on the show. But
yeah, she's out of state.
She's out of state. Yeah.
But she is kind of specializes in mothers' mental health, and she actually shot over. I asked her hey, what are some things that we could kind of talk about? One of the things that came up was postpartum depression. Because I know she is actively, I think, trying to do something around postpartum. I'll write her Instagram name. It's Dr. Emily _Guarnotta, but I'll write her info in the description because she has a lot of good content for moms. But have you ever what's your experience with postpartum depression? Have you ever had anyone, mom or wife, or that you're comfortable talking about, or even a client in group who had experience with it at all?
I'm reflecting back. I should have been more prepared on this.
Want me to define it?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So postpartum depression is really just depression, experiencing symptoms of depression after giving birth. Or after, even if maybe you didn't have a successful birth, right? But having that postpartum experience of feeling depression.
It's almost like that expectation of your mom now. You should have this feeling of like connection with your child sometimes too, right?
It could contribute to that. Yeah,
yeah, and maybe not feeling the love or the
maybe not. It wasn't what you expected. Maybe like the feeling wasn't there. Right. Sometimes it takes for that feeling to cultivate and to come up for you. So yeah.
I want to say this. I think you sent me a text about this, and it was very accurate. Like, two guys sitting here doing an episode on postpartum. I could see a woman going right now and be like, "What are these two dudes trying to process?" Why? But we are two professionals. We work in the mental health and addiction field. I have experienced somebody that has gone through this, and I can see, or I try to empathize with that, and that's really, really hard to experience. Not that I have experienced something like that. I'll say this, and maybe just as a way for me to connect, and it helps me, and that's what always helps me in this field is when I work with people, is that I remember how scared I was to be a father. And when I say scared, I'm like, how can I love something? And I could think about what if that feeling didn't transfer over in some ways, and I what if I didn't feel that? I could see that that questioning of why am I not like other dads? And also being somebody, I think my partner will be okay with saying this, but she had lost a kid, so and the experience miscarriage, so so I think that I can. There are levels, most definitely, I relate, and I've seen it in the rooms and people I've worked with, and how that does create a sense of loss of purpose or with themselves and not getting to be what they worked for months and months to be. So I
when I was in grad school, we have to kind of prove ourselves a little bit before we can start seeing clients in a controlled setting. And one of the things we have to do is we have a vignette that they give us, a case. They give us just certain things that's going on with somebody. Yeah. And mine was a mama and a 6-month-old baby. And so we had to figure out okay, how would you diagnose? How would you treat? And what are some of the things that you would do immediately with this person? And so I'm a new clinician here, right? I'm trying to figure it out. One of the things that I missed on that was assessing for postpartum depression. And it's funny because you're talking about I'm a guy, I don't even think about that, and I remember it being part of the DSM, but it wasn't really studied as much as for me to remember. And so part of what I had to do in order to be able to see clients was I passed because I, for the most part, did well. But this was a very important thing that the instructors wanted me to know. They made me interview a therapist who specializes in postpartum depression.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was really good. I'm really happy that they did that. At first I was like, oh, come on, but it was really nice because I got to really understand before I had a child, how postpartum depression can come up for women because there's so many things going on for them. Hormonal changes, the expectation of what it needs to be like being a mom, the burden. I don't know if a burden is the right way, but societal expectations around how to raise a child, breastfeeding, around what limitations your child might have, and the stress of having to worry about bringing up your child, the change of identity that a woman goes through as a mom. And, coincidentally, or so, when we had our first, my wife went through postpartum depression. Yeah. And I had no idea that she was going through it. It was crazy. Okay. Until after she was out of it.
Do you mean she didn't share? I mean, I don't want to dig too much into Abby because she's not here, but did she not talk about it with you, or
we talk
whatever you feel like disclose it?
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and she said that she didn't realize that she was depressed.
Oh wow.
She could just see herself she was very unhappy. She's never felt that before, and she was really trying to be happy, but had a hard time with a lot of the things like breastfeeding and things like that. So she was really challenged by that. And And I could tell there was a change in our relationship. And as we were going to therapy and working on our stuff, that came. It's like, you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I was like depressed. And I remember hearing that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm over here like helping people who are going through a lot of issues, and like my wife's at home depressed. I felt like such an asshole, like, you know, almost like a failure as a husband. Yeah. But one of the reasons I think we were trying to uncover for what led her to go into a depression was she felt like she had to do it all by herself, and like didn't know how to ask for my help, and I was working a lot and I couldn't really be there as much. And so when we had our second daughter, we really communicated around that to avoid her going into that again.
Awesome.
And I would say successfully so. Yeah. And so, but yeah, a lot of respect just for like the hormonal changes, the role changes that a woman has to go through due to this condition. Yeah. And do you have any?
No, I mean, I'm more just trying to take it in, and just as a sponge, and just trying to, postpartum to me is still it's something that I'm not extremely experienced with, but it's so common. Yeah. And I guess I was just more right now when you were sharing, I was just kind of reflecting on like the whole idea of emotions, and I think I'm laughing or smiling because not that I'm uncomfortable, but it's just a reminder of like, wow, man, like people sometimes the whole idea like depression, anxiety, even though it's like so commonly discussed out in the world in 2024, but sometimes you don't even realize you're depressed until like you're like, oh snap, I was depressed. I wasn't just sad, I was actually depressed. And like so that shows the power of like talking it out and going to therapy, right? So and yeah, man, I guess the reflection on you is like, I get it, like, because you're an expert and you're trained in this and you're licensed, like, you should know all, but sometimes the signs, they could be right in front of us, we might miss them still, particularly in people we know and love. I mean, that's why sometimes you'll hear people say, like, I never know this person was so depressed, and then you hear, you know, some ways, like, somebody commits suicide. You're like, this person seems so happy, and depression could look like all kinds of different things, you know, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, you wanted to talk about also, what else you want to talk about here?
So that was one just interesting thing, right? But then there was another maybe more common topic. Have you ever heard of this concept of like the mother's mental load?
Yeah, that's why I was thought you were going to bring that up about that was the article you got from the Huffington Post, right?
Yeah, Dr. Emily Guarnotta.
That was her article?
Yeah, that wasn't her article. She sent it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Emily, you're blowing up.
Post.
I mean, she's still blowing up, but I was like, wow, you got the... Okay, but anyway, so she sent you this article.
Yeah.
Basically, they call the mother's mental load. What is that?
Yeah, you know what? So let me define it real quick. So the mother's mental load...
I would imagine that is probably like... The mom's expected to do everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do husbands just get like, I don't want to say all husbands. I'm not ever saying all or everybody, but like, you know, sometimes I get this thing of like, she's the mom. Like, she knows best. Yep. She's got more maternal, you got the maternal instincts, right? Like, I almost like, I kind of almost like expect that like she knows what she's doing. I'm like, I'm a man. I'm like, baby, diaper. I have no idea. I'm like, all of a sudden become like, the Geico caveman or something. So
yeah, and so like, a definition I have here, it's like how in many families mothers carry the load of the household, remembering things for the kids, and this load isn't really visible to the partner usually, and it weighs a lot on the mom. Things like especially in heterosexual relationships, things like continuous planning, organizing, managing the household, managing the childcare tasks, staying up to date with the latest parenting practices and the parenting research. And it's so funny because, like, I think in my relationship, this is probably what causes me and my wife to fight the most.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you said you want to talk about relationships too. You're talking about like, so you say this is the catalyst for most things that goes down in the Romero household.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and probably in a lot of households, right? Because there is, especially if, so me and my wife probably would say have more of a traditional, like, where, you know, we're both working, but she does, I would say, like, she takes care of the kids like more percentage of the time, and she's sort of like, does a lot of the household stuff, right? The cooking. I'll cook sometimes, taking care of the house. She's always organizing the house. But she's talked about, I remember one time we were in therapy and I was like, I wish you could just like relax sometimes, like, yeah. It wasn't like relax yourself, but it was like I feel like you're always stressed out, like, like you really need to like take care of yourself. And she just gives me this look like, if I relax, the house is gonna break down. You know what I mean? And
dude, I am your wife. You know that, right?
Really?
Yes, dude. I told you we're like on opposite sides. I'm very
right.
much like her, where like I have thought that way as well. So,
really?
Yeah, for sure.
So I appreciated more this concept of the mental load, because I'm like, damn, I didn't think about that. Like, you're right. You do. She does like think about the meal planning. She does think about like, you're like, yeah, I do.
I do that actually. Yeah. So I do a lot because I'm the big cooker and I do a lot of that stuff.
So that's interesting though, because you're the guy in a heterosexual relationship here, right? And so I mean, in your experience, we're talking about this is a common for moms, but like how does it weigh for you? Like,
I don't want to like. I think it'd be unfair to like shift that.
Okay.
But I know what you're saying. So
you really relate. I feel like you're really relating to this right now.
No,
dude.
but I guess like I can't speak on that. I'm not saying like my wife doesn't like do so many things. Like I feel like that she.
Yeah, you are. You're saying Shannon doesn't do anything.
No, I feel like that she does do. I feel like she's with my daughter more often than I am. Because unfortunately, I work Monday through Friday, and I'm gone for like almost like 10 hours. So, yeah, I can relate on. Maybe it's more the idea of like this might be more of an OCD like cleanliness thing more than anything. Like, I'm always thinking about like, well, not to say my wife isn't, but I always think about like feeding my daughter and like making sure her meals are prepped, but then I don't know, like I also like things have to be in order. So I think there's kind of a control factor with me, which I'm letting go more of being a parent of like, I walk in my house and I see things. I still trying to keep it clean, but I'm like, just let the toys sit there. It's okay. I don't have to like everything has to be in order.
So similar to my wife. It's
I know so this is probably getting a little bit off topic of moms and like, but which is okay. Who cares, right? We can talk about whatever we want here. But the mother's mental load, So I think that I say being a man sometimes I create expectations for the mother, the mom of the child to kind of just know what you're doing, where I'm like I kind of like it's like an excuse of like I don't know what to do, like I don't know. So you just have that instinct where like men aren't supposed to have the instincts, but that's a very gender biased like view. And I'm not like saying, I mean, I'm wrong in a lot of things, but no, I'm wrong with a lot of things. I also am trying to get more in touch with like seeing the other side of things as I am.
You know what? It's a societal expectation too, though.
I think
because
still for sure.
I don't know if you've ever gotten this experience, but like one time, we were going out. We went out to get a sandwich or something at a restaurant, and my daughter had, she wears diapers, and she had to change her diaper, right? And so like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go and change her, and so I'm walking out. I'm walking to the restroom. I change her. By the way, they had a changing table at the men's restroom, which is
that's right.
a blessing, because sometimes sometimes the restaurants still don't, which is another societal message around like the mother's supposed to do
change
this.
That diaper,
Anyway, I walk out with a dirty diaper, and then like I get like this round of applause from the restaurant.
Shut up.
Yeah, I swear to God, they're like, yeah, that's a good dad right there. Like, way to go, bud.
What?
Like making us all look good, and my wife, I just look at my wife, she just like rolls her eyes. Like,
I could totally see that, because I'm just like, serious?
Yeah, it's like, oh, he gets praised for being a dad, but like if she were to go and do the same thing, like it would be expected. Yeah.
Nothing at all. So, geez, next time my wife walks out of the restaurant and be like, give it up for this lady.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude.
But I mean, how much does that add to this like mental load of like, not only does in some families like the mom has to think about all these things, or does think about all these things by default, but then like there's not a lot of credit given to some of that energy that's being put there. Right. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's like I'm reflecting into my relationship right now. I'm like, damn, I gotta really give my wife more credit sometimes. You know.
We are running out of time here. I had some
that
other.
was fast.
I know it was. We got back on the time sessions. That's why. I think I wanted to bring up one more thing, just kind of based on what you said. Mom's Day seems to be a lot more like celebrated than Father's Day. I feel like. What's your take?
Ooh, you going here right now?
We
could talk about this on Father's Day.
We could. Good idea. And we're really out of time though, so we can just. I like your thinking, dude. You pocket these ideas from these episodes because we're also going to talk about like working with men and compared to women working with men, which is like I think you talked about you like working with a men therapist.
Oh yeah, and I've had some female therapists or female clients that in the past that have told me like it's sort of interesting because sometimes they'll come in and a part of their journey they start talking about this almost uphill battle that they experience having to prove themselves especially like in the workforce.
Oh, got it. Okay,
especially the female clients who are more entrepreneurial spirited, and it's like and you can and they'll be like like there is this resistance to like females being accepted as like a boss sometimes, and they can feel that pressure. And I kind of empathize sometimes. I'm like, man, and it makes me think about I wonder if I've ever delivered a microaggression or something like where I've made this client feel that way at times, because as a man possibly I could have asked a question in a certain way or assumed something that would make this client feel like, and there's the male female dynamic in play. I just want to take a completely different take, but I think about like an early recovery. They always say men should work with men and women should work with women. And that's not so much like in group therapy counseling, but it's more just in like if you're going to work the 12 steps, it's better that like, you a man works with man, a woman works with women. I think the reason is because I think it's really raw and I think for the most part like you're getting off substances, and I think there could be easy cross addiction with like dating and relationships, and so I think it's better to be in tune with men, working with men, and when you're talking about even like your sexual history, going through the steps, your inventory. So I think that's probably the most appropriate. And then like I said, when it comes to therapy, I don't agree with that. Like whoever's a good fit, it's a good fit. And we've talked about before how like how sometimes men just feel a little more comfortable sharing with women, but and I know things are changing all the time because of where we're at in society and the world, but I think it's good to be vulnerable with a man to really try that out. And I know how sometimes women just feel comfortable with men. So if a woman worked with a woman, it's sponsorship. I think it's a healthy exercise. In recovery too, like I feel like you're usually not very good at creating relationships that are healthy. And then two, like coming off of drugs, you tend to be more hypersexual.
No, that's and that's why I was saying that's why I was like I felt like whenever I got off like drugs, I was like, oh man, like I just felt so like I don't know, I just wanted like attention, and I was seeking out like validation, and you're very like, once again, it's very raw, and your emotions. So like women to me were like a comfort, where the drugs and alcohol were for a long time. So I think that's why the directive is like gender specific when you're early in recovery, and especially when you're working with a sponsor and like AA or.
Which kind of doesn't work if like you identify as like gay, right? It's
well, that's
like,
what I'm saying, and then that could always be a bit of a bit of a cross up, because you're just like, okay, well, you're gay, but a lot of times they still want men to work with men. That's more probably for each person's experience. I couldn't specific for that, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about a little bit too with men. But the whole Father's Day, Mother's Day, we should
debate,
and we could get that.
Just let them have their day, bro.
That's right.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom, and mothers all across the world.